Whoa, I almost did that too soon. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Olimoleague Grand Finals. This is going to be a best of 5. I just had to double check because I was confused. Like, Olimoleague really nailed it with the spoiler-free replays. But spawning here in the lower right, we have the Blue Zerg player. Here's a teammate, Rogue. Nice save.
In the top left, as the yellow Terran, it's Kier. And it was a good save. Just so you can say that for anyone, right? Like, just coincidentally, Kier's actually in the game.
You feel like it's Kier's opponent. Actually, no. I feel like what I just did was the equivalent of like you tripped, but then you turned it into a somersault, so it looked fabulous. That's how it played out in my head. Bet payout certificate. Oh yeah, I gotta. How do I do this? Bet results marker. So yes, I think it was the win. And before I mess this up. Oh, cool.
What? Damn it. Well, I guess I didn't bet correctly then.
Yeah, I don't know how this thing works, man. I guess we can now set the bets here for the finals. See how that works too.
What did you guys use to bet? Like what?
I think Cure will win because I've got Terran bias.
Okay, first the bet clip do station point bet. Yes. Oh, so I did it the wrong way, I guess. Bet yes, 100. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the bot confirms whether you enter or not. This is great because the other bot doesn't. Right?
Yeah.
So you don't actually know if you did it right. That's kind of cool. Anyways, it's a 2 Reaper opener here for Cure. No third barracks in sight. He's actually gonna go for the faster command center with a really haphazard wall.
Well, haphazard wall. It's kind of Abyssal Reef a lot of the time, but I think he just messed it up.
Anyways, I want to make this perfectly clear, guys. I do not know the results of this. I just picked one of the players at random. So you can either bet yes, you also think Cure will win, or you bet no, you think Rogue will win. Either way, I think it's super cool that we get like a Jin Air versus Jin Air finals. Again, big shout outs to the Olimoleague for making this happen. Check out the Olimoleague Patreon, guys, if you want to get involved supporting the tournament. But is the patch live? Which patch?
Is it?
I guess that. Oh, you know what? Because the America servers. This, by the way, guys, rewind time for a second. This is from 6 hours ago. But for us, the America servers are actually under maintenance as we currently speak, and I think that is the patch going live, is what they're referring to, and that's with the new season of ladder maps and what have you.
Exactly. I don't remember what patches you're even put into it though.
Yeah, I don't remember if there's anything big changing other than the season maps. I don't think there's like a lot of big bug fixes.
I thought they were going to go with the Reaper change.
Well, that was their community feedback. They talked about the Reaper and the Colossus change, but I don't know if there was like a commitment to actually doing it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would like to know. If there's a commitment to it. Because I'm like they were pretty on board with changing it for a while, so I'm surprised that they pulled it back. I feel like that's why Naruto's asking too. Because obviously we have multiple Reapers. Only a 2-Rax Reaper though, which is interesting.
Well, that may have been why he was asking if the patch was live, because one of the changes was making the Reapers more expensive,
right?
That's what
I said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I misunderstood, but you're right. I'm reiterating you because you are right. And that is something that I do not believe is live. I think Cure's just doing a different build.
Yeah, me too. The war chest skins.
What?
Okay. I don't know, I clicked on a new Reddit post where apparently you can use war chest skins in co-op. The drones look really stupid, man.
The Zerg, they just added random spikes to everything. I'm not a fan of the Zerg skins at all, frankly.
Yeah.
Like you look at everything, they just actually put random spikes on it. For Terrans, I thought it was cool. Like the Widowmines like have wheels now or something. Like there's like actual noteworthy, cool looking changes.
There's a lot of co-op changes.
Oh, are there?
Okay.
Can you link the patch notes in chat? I'll take a look at that after game, I guess.
Well, I guess I say a lot, but I mean it's a lot of text, anyways. They did not say anything about the Reapers, so they didn't go through with it.
I'm gonna guess, like I'm not looking at the patch notes yet, but if I had to guess for co-op, they're probably fixing Zagara's bailing bug, I would hope.
Bug fixes. I don't see anything about Zagara's bug fixes.
Interesting then. Because yeah, for those who don't know, you can do this thing with Zagara where you can detonate one bailing and turn it into like 400, and I'm not exaggerating. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. The attack does commands is Hellbats and Reapers, and like I said, Cure just doing a very different build. This is really unique, and I don't think we've seen something quite like this. Hellbats and Marines with a medevac, like that's so expected, but the Reaper grenades can keep a lot of things jumped off. The Hellbats can clean up the Lings that would normally clean up the Reapers. This could be a really cool complementary force, but unfortunately it's not, and it gets surrounded and Cure gets destroyed.
Yeah. Get so caught up in the potential patch changes that I didn't really discuss the players at hand, other than they both are Jinair, living at the house, practicing together, I assume. But Rogue has seemed a bit more impressive in his victories of whoever his opponents were. Like, I think there was a game presentation, and it was really, really good. But Cure obviously looks very good. Defeated Billowy, no problem, 2-0. Got to the finals, not contesting that. I think that Rogue's impressed me more in this matchup specifically. So
yeah, I mean, we got to watch him go up against Keen, and Keen did both bio and mech, so we know that he can play against either style. Cure, you know, we just got to fight him, watch him fight Protoss. We don't know where he really is sitting here versus Zerg.
Yeah, I just with that attack, I suppose I felt the need to explain it. I think that Rogue would win, which means I don't know why I bet yes to Cure winning. I got caught up in the moment. I was too excited that I finally learned how to bet. But no, I would actually give this TvZ to Rogue in a best of 5. We'll see what happens. I've accidentally bet on the wrong person before and won, so.
Yeah, you've also cheated with bets too, abusing stream delay. You horrible human being.
No laws against it. No rules.
Well, see, there's straight up laws against betting, isn't there, like, for America?
Betting with like actual money. And in only certain states, no, it's gambling. Like you can bet. Like no one's gonna be like, I bet you $50 the pack is gonna lose.
The cop overhears it. They're like writing you up. That'll be a ticket.
Exactly. Gambling, illegal gambling. No, it's like same like who's ever gotten busted for jaywalking? I don't know, man. Most I've ever gotten was like yelled at, I suppose. Okay. Gambling aside. Cure now going for double-pronged attacks. Medevac to the left, attack over to the right side. Not much creep spread over here, but Overlord coverage.
Everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, the expansion process, this makes a lot of sense, but considering that still half of the Abyssal games in TvZ have the players expanding to the right side, it still looks a little bit odd. There is no consistency quite yet about which expansion process is better.
That was a pretty nice one. I might cut some of the bailing there. I don't know why. I just thought of the greatest like spoof map. I want there to be a not underwater but a space version of this map where every texture is replaced with a missile. So it's a missile reef.
Not worth the joke.
Actually, there's that one map, Kim Jong-unia, that was actually pretty legit, but that one had missiles everywhere too. That looked really cool. I wouldn't mind like an actual non-troll version of that map.
No. Did we get Catalina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like I hear Roberto's voice in my head saying the stabby stabs. Yeah, Red. I'm crazy. This attack's got a lot of bailings to deal with, and a lot more on the way. Let's see if the job of the main got cleaned up too.
One of my accounts kind of scary. Not the best hits from the no, and a last-second split from Rogue means that it works out still in his favor. Upgrade's pretty even. They're both kind of macroing to a very solid degree, I suppose. Like, okay, well that just threw a bunch of my plans. I was gonna say like 3 bases versus 4. Good worker count, good army count. Nothing really is too one-sided here, but then a lurker den started, and I'm just not even sure what this matchup is anymore. Who goes lurkers? Hydra's, sure. Hydra's the new thing to do, man.
It's It's a kind of cool progression. I mean, Hydras have been making their way in the matchup anyways. Throw in 1 or 2 lurkers just for that bit of splash damage. I can see them being kind of effective. Especially when things like Banelings are going to get focused on by Cure relentlessly.
I don't think they're a good idea. But I also wouldn't have thought that Hydras would be a good idea, even with their health buff against Terran, and that obviously is going to be the new way to play TvZ, so I'll hold off until we see how it works out. But generally, the fact that they're so expensive, they take a long time to make, and they are outmaneuverable and that's all, like, that's what Terran does. You know, that's their specialty, is outmaneuvering. Lurkers were tried in the beginning of Legacy of the Void. They were tested, but that was when everyone, like, really didn't know what they were doing, so I wouldn't mind seeing it tested again. I just don't have a lot of faith in it. Yeah,
I mean, Lurker is funny enough. I like the splash damage element. I like the potential of this, but they are really anti-armored units at best. My thoughts are, this is why I think it's potentially a cool idea. You know, you roll the Banelings in through Marauders and it doesn't do much. Maybe the Lurker spikes take out the Marauders, allowing the Banelings to roll into the Marines. It's kind of where my brain's going to this, but 11 Lurkers coming down straight up. This is unseen in this matchup.
I guess my issue is that I would not expect the battle to go...
Oh, not a cancel.
Oh, that kind of sucks. I wouldn't expect the battle to go from the bio versus lurkers, right? Because you can talk about how that would work all day, but there's liberators, there's wood mines, there's concaves, there's drops. But the lurker's in a very aggressive position, is kind of getting rid of the ability of trying to maneuver around them.
Oh my
so
God.
He just has to, like, let his barracks die here. He should just lift them.
Oh.
I'm not sure he should actually go for the busts. He should have looked for a better concave. He should have looked to pick up his units, perhaps.
I don't know. That was pretty cool for Cure. I wish he would have kept the Banelings back. If he kept the Banelings back, I think this would have been, like, a really perfect attack. But, man, like, he just tore through those reactors. He just shredded that Marauder. I mean, again, these do, like, what, 30-something damage? I can't mouse over.
I mean, who...
Korea feels bad, man.
Who expects that many lurkers in your face so quickly? They're caught in the middle of the map. They're caught, like, almost like siege lines where they have to siege hop forward, and it's a very different fight. But this is finding Cure in a very abusive position.
Yeah, by the way, it is 30 damage per shot to armor, 20 to non. Either way, it's splash damage, and... Oh, he's chunking away at that bio. The supply from Cure's drop, and the command center dies. Rogue's making it work! GG!
Oh.
Yo,
One game.
I'm not convinced that lurkers will be the new meta. I am convinced that that was a really cool game out of Rogue, though, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, my sentiments, mostly. You gotta see it again. Says it again, then I'm a believer.
Well, game number 2 is going to be Approximate Station. We'll find out whether it's going to be lurkers once more into the breach, or whether it'll be something a little more standard. I think what always impresses me about Rogue, though, because Rogue has played in several of our bigger events, not in like our weekly cups and things, but he's played in some of our bigger events, and he's always been able to bring it in terms of like cool factor. So I'm not surprised he's got something like that up his sleeve. But we're gonna immediately hop here to game number 2 of the Olimoleague finals. This is, by the way, context here, guys, this is the 95th Olimoleague. Just to put that out there for you. Spawning in the top right, it's going to be the Yellow Terran player, Cure.
In the bottom left, as the other Genera player, it's the Blue Zerg, Rogue.
I still think, by the way, as a side note, to all the good things that the Olimoleague has merit for, going to Korea to cast live from Busan was still probably like one of the cooler experiences I think we've done.
It was a cool experience. That was a cool convention.
There were so many beautiful women there. I wish I had had the conviction to take more pervy photos like all the dudes who are bringing around stools and stuff so they could get the different angles of the women.
I thought you had no shame.
Turns out I do. There is a limit.
I mean, a lot of the stuff, I mean, you could just, honestly, if you really just wanted to find an excuse, you just feel like the cosplay was good, because sometimes it really was. Sometimes it was like low effort, obviously only a pretty girl standing, and then other times it was like, no, it's either very impressive because it's like a giant like mech suit, borderline mech suit anyways, or it's really impressive because it's just designed very well. Those are my thoughts anyways. I did not take pictures before anyone asks. Ask for the details.
I did run away during one of our commercial breaks to go take a selfie with 3 cosplayers. I remember that one.
Some of them
Dig up that picture later. I know that like the whole concept of booth babes is like it's just, it's so funny for the rest of the world. Like, people make it out to maybe even be a bigger topic than it is, right? Whereas in Asia, and I guess just the Pan-Pacific countries as well, they're just like, nah, who cares? Sexy women, pay them clothes, dressed in clothes, like, whatever, like.
It's kind of weird though, because I think it was, I actually like, and I don't know 100% because I'm not like some guru on East Asian culture as a whole, but I feel like since I don't see it anywhere else, right? Like in terms of like sex appeal used in their broadcasts and whatnot, obviously K-pop, but I'm talking like esports and television. It's really not that abusive or that bad. So I feel like booth babes got to a point in America because it was stuff like ESGN, right? They just like shitty, overused, obviously just catering to a demographic that doesn't actually exist as much as people think it does. That's when it was just like insane. To have it at a convention, you know, and I thought it was done well enough because they actually had some really cool cosplay. I really didn't mind it.
Oh yeah,
whereas I feel like maybe like Japan has a worse reputation for that type of stuff.
What stands out weirder for you then? Like, and we're talking American culture for this one. Something like a booth babe versus like a ringside girl.
Well, neither are. What do you mean by weird? I guess because neither are weird. I mean, they're.
I didn't say weird. What stands out more is what I was saying. Like, because I feel like for wrestling, ringside girls are just so intertwined into like the actual culture of wrestling that doesn't stand out as much as like, oh, there's a booth babe at this convention. We never see booth babes at conventions. That's weird.
Whatever. It's 5 a.m. I don't actually know. I didn't actually think that they were in WWE. I've seen them in MMA, but I have never watched WWE. So, and they're not in boxing anymore either. I don't think. So I don't know which one stands out to me, I guess.
Well, Raven and what is possibly a fake cloak again. We saw Kira do this earlier. Oh no, that was Keen. Excuse me. Wrong match. Keen versus Impact.
Keen.
Either way, it is maybe still the fake. That's my point. In fact, does cancel it now. Second time the Overlord comes in, just to confirm. So Rogue is maybe going to be a bit bamboozled. No, this Overlord will confirm too. No Banshee production as well. That's a big scout. That second Overlord is a hero.
It's pretty good. There was that fake attempt at the cloak, and it was not a bamboozle. So third base, Barracks production, not going to be a mech game. Rogue's already had to deal with that, and he dealt with it pretty well. He's going to go into Baneling. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hydras again. It's just a question of does he go Lurkers again.
Oh, another big scout out of the Overlord confirming what's in the base. That speed early on is so nice. It's the difference of the Overlord living versus not even getting to scout. Meanwhile, Raven tries to find some area to drop an auto turret. It's going to get surrounded by Lings immediately, though, so this should be taken care of. Does get 2 drone kills. Front of the base also being pressured. Queen's getting baited off of creep, but no real lasting damage just yet.
No. Being shut down pretty hardcore. Rogue feels comfortable enough to continue droning to get to all of his upgrades. Doesn't feel the pressure of needing it to get to any, like, you know, supreme anti-air, no Spire. Oh, I just stand still, actually, as the layer's done.
Yeah, actually, if this was going to be Hydras, I guess he did go for them pretty quickly last time, so we'd see it, but just Evo
I mean,
Chambers.
he still might be it. I mean, he went for, it's funny to see a fairly quick layer just for centrifugal hooks, but it's a pretty important upgrade. And we do see, I think Rogue, before the last series, like not the one with his Keen, but like a couple days ago or something like that, I think Rogue was the guy that was bringing back fast ultras. Not that they ever really disappeared, but I mean, just Ling Baneling with okay upgrades up until Hive.
Nurchi is one of the only dudes who I feel really does fast ultras on the regular nowadays.
Right.
Push coming in, clean up some of that creep. He did a pretty okay job at policing this early, so there's not that much to clean up, but still creep nonetheless. Runs over to check for a 4th, but there's no 4th up. So a little bit awkward as he gives up that ground he just gained through the tumors.
Yeah.
Now we know Kier's got the micro. We saw him dance well against Banelings earlier. Might be happy just sacrificing the Hellions for them. Kind of wish he wouldn't, though. Like, keeping these alive for the Lynx might be better. But picks up the Marines and gets out of there. Does end up sacrificing the Hellions.
Well, Rogue, You probably could have just crashed into that and still dealt with it, but being as conservative as possible with his banelings, so has to make a couple more. He does get into a Spire. He just took a sweet time getting there. Made sure to defend his 3 bases before reaching towards a 4th or towards that higher tech. It's going to continue pushing forward here. If you're not expecting that, oh!
Great Widowmine shot.
I don't know how that one baneling survived. Only 3 of them died.
So this is cool, by the way. The Raven bought a lot of time. The difference between one auto turret and 2 is the difference of those Lings cleaning it up versus this killing some things.
Well, Rogue feeling quite comfortable just playing on 3 bases.
Oh, Cure took a really bad hit there. Widowmine gets another pretty okay hot. I mean, as long as this is trading out for the Banelings, it's always going to be good. Doesn't need to end up walking away with like 13 kills on or anything magnificent. But we do have a small drop and a Widowmine heading towards the main. Auto turret's also still at the ready.
Novaseer has been absent for the last 2 fights, and I'm quite surprised. He has one, he's not using it. 4th base is denied as the drone tried to take it. A lot of, actually, quite a few drops that Rogue should be taking very seriously in case they do go into his natural.
Well, he will be soon. These 10 mutas are about to hatch. You can finally start chasing down some of these medevacs that have been such a thorn in his side. That being said, though, so much of this game from Cure is like keeping Rogue on Rogue's side of the map without expanding, without taking like a 4th base, without getting away with much. So, like, kind of dedicated at this point. It's weird to say something like a 3-base all-in. That's not the real accurate description, but the second factory comes down over like another command center.
Yeah. Innovation does this, except he does even like quicker, like really fast second factory to really get that Thor drilling claws production started.
Ooh.
Rogue finally going to clean up this mess so he can take a 4th base, and now he's had some breathing room. His muta count has grown to quite a good number, up to 17 with these last 2. He did have to skip 2-2, though, to afford all that, and that has put him quite significantly behind in the upgrades.
By the way, big thank you to DeMuslim for that host. Hello, DeMuslim viewers. I hope you guys had a great stream with DeMuslim. It's good to see you streaming again, too, by the way. But you're joining us here for the grand finals of this week's Olimoleague. This is notably cast from replays, but we don't know the results. Please, if you do know them, don't bring spoilers to our chat. You will get banned relentlessly if you start bringing spoilers, fake or real. And that's about where we're at. All right, Mutaflock gets to the main. Does spam repair the turret, so he should be okay. He's going to lose some SCV still nonetheless. But that big attack from Rogue, or excuse me, Cure in the middle of the map, this has a lot of Widowmines with it. And so far, he's been getting away with like 1 or 2 at most per attack. This one here is still alive from earlier, for example. But this many Widowmines spread him out a little bit, and I'm really worried for Rogue. 2-2 also in the favor of our bio. Oh god, this Baneling did nothing.
He wasn't prepared for this anyway. Like, besides the actual upgrades or the actual numbers of Banelings, he just wasn't in position. He had to respond last minute, now trying to get some type of surround, but not really a convincing one. Not a lot from that natural.
The Widowmines are going to be great. A lot of them haven't even been triggered, but the 2-2 on the bio just seems like it can't be contested at this point. In fact, it can't, and GG. Cure will tie up the series 1-1. Not shabby. Not too shabby. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, guys. Sit tight. Game 3 comes up when we return. All right, we're back with the spoiler-free finals here for the Olimoleague replay broadcast. Again, if you're watching this at 12:57 p.m. on the West Coast on July 18th, you're seeing this live. Any other time, not so much the case. Game number 3 kicks off, though. And in the bottom right, we got the red Zerg Rogue.
In the top left, as the yellow Terran, he's Cure.
Ah, I missed the opportunity to call him the Rouge Rogue.
Oh, he's finally red. Missed. Okay, well, tied up 1-1. Both had some pretty strong-looking games.
Yeah, I actually really, win or lose the series, I'm actually loving watching Cure today. Mostly, like, we can respect Koreans have good macro, right? Who needs to touch base on that? We just assume it's good. But his micro has really been good today. The focus fire on the banelings earlier in his series versus Impact was really sick to see. The fact that he was splitting and dodging in that last game versus Rogue. The Widowmine's getting anything done at all. Like, just overall, Cure's been looking pretty good, and I really have enjoyed watching him so far today. So I'm rooting for him a little bit, but both these players are good enough that I don't really mind who wins.
Yeah. Usually I'm cheering the Terran, but Rogue has impressed me. So I'm cheering for him a little bit. I'm gonna lose some Magrovs. Oh well.
Also, because we're live, bring it up with chat. Someone's saying, are you guys going to be at DreamHack Atlanta? Zombie Rabbit answers absolutely perfectly. DreamHack Atlanta wouldn't have such a big StarCraft event if we weren't going. We're providing up to 8 PCs. The prize pool is $7,500 US. There's actually a lot of really good reasons to be going to Atlanta, and we are definitely one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we're leaving 2 days.
Yeah, we got the BTSL finals. Tomorrow's our last cast. I'm actually shocked. Going to Atlanta is going to be the first time I don't leave at like 6 a.m. in the morning. Like, I think I have like a 1 p.m. flight or something. I'm like, what?
I have a 7 p.m. flight.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm interested
also,
to see what it looks like.
The time difference is so savage. Just like leave at 1 p.m., arrive at 9. I'm like, what? How long is this flight? Oh, it's only like a 4.5 hour flight. Like,
going west to east always sucks. Although in my case, it's really not so bad. I basically gain a day, so
yeah, until you go home.
That's cool.
You're just borrowing time,
exactly. Dude. No, when I go home, no, I also buy. I get.
What
I
if
get
you
time
just?
when I go home.
What if you just kept moving backwards in time zones? So you never go back. Like, it's just like, okay, you go from East Coast to West Coast to Japan, go from Japan to Europe, go from Europe to East Coast. Then you never lost that day. You just kept gaining days. It's genius.
That's not quite how that works, but no, I gain a day when I go home. Going to Atlanta is basically like going home. I mean, Atlanta's really that far from Virginia.
No, dude, I think my logic works, okay? I'm going to live forever by migrating time zones. I will be an immortal.
When Maynard goes from Europe to Australia, he just actually buys so much time, man. He's gonna lose 24 hours in the air.
Maynard's actually like 100 years old. You guys don't even realize. Those dreadlocks, each dreadlock is 1 year of life he's stolen.
You cut off the dread and you can count the rings. Perfect.
Nobody clip this and send this to Maynard, please and thank you. By the way, thank you CGTF2 for that resub. We missed that a little bit earlier. But man, this is and Iverson just now, thank you very much. This was something where like Cure's gonna be heading across the map. It's revealed immediately, so there should be no surprise element other than the fact that there's a cyclone in this. Like, this is actually really weird to see. And this is actually a commitment to a Banshee, by the way, not just the juke out.
Jukes. You get a good riddance for the 8-month resub. Man, I'm terrified of space travel because of Interstellar.
Oh,
not because of the multitude of bad things that can happen while you're in space, but rather just like the whole idea of like aging slowly. While everyone else, you know, that you loved, just, well, you know, dies back at home.
Kind of like Passengers, too.
You know, I never watched Passengers. I just watched the film guy who talked about Passengers and how it could have been done better.
Oh, it was so much cooler. I like really enjoyed his recut of it. But okay,
yeah, I enjoy his videos.
Helly's going to be joining up at the front line, but none of this makes this any easier to deal with when it comes to the Queens. So, unfortunately, Cure, without the power of Marines, can't really push through this. However, maybe, actually, I don't even know. Maybe a Cyclone and a Banshee and this amount of Hellions is enough. The Queens have already burned a lot of their energy either transfusing or laying down creep tumors or injecting. But it's still 6 Queens. Like, this is a pretty solid defense that Rogue has here.
I mean, he already snipes a Hellbat.
Good start.
I think he's pretty good. You know, the lane's gonna come in from behind and try and stall out a potential retreat. Not that you could really get away with a lot. You know, 2 medevacs then. 2 Hellbats and a medevac, rather. But just continuing to kites, trying to keep the Queens alive as long as possible, waiting for the golden opportunity to send those Lings in. That wasn't it, apparently.
No, not when the Hellbats are ready to fight. Unfortunately, the Banshee was in range of the Spore Crawler's detection, just not in the range of a shot, so there wasn't like any shenanigans there that definitely should have gone down.
Yeah. Cure, Rogue had so many Queens that kind of block each other out from being microed, but Cure realizes it's not going to work.
Well, I was going to say, Rogue was also so confident in this defense. He's just been droning a lot behind this. We don't have a lot of Lings, and this might hurt him. Now he's down 10 supply. These Queens are not well armed, not a lot of energy.
It's It's potential. The Queen's energy is a very, very important part of this attack.
Oh, but so was that medevac, and that medevac just went down. Like haphazard focus too. The Cyclone was shooting the hatchery. As we can see, there's a lot of kind of wasted damage on the hatchery. Cyclone finds a pretty fun spot in the mineral line though. Can sit here and trade up for a few more kills. But this, I don't think worked out so hot here. Banshee also didn't do much but pick up a few lings that were reinforcing.
That follow-up attack looks scary for a second, but just the Queens, they're being microed, they have a concave. It was just all good enough, and Rogue has a perfect defense against that.
That's a really good transfuse there, too. And on top of this, the Overlords have just been able to sit in clear view of everything. Like, there's just nothing to threaten these back at home. So he knows that Cure's going to play mech, which, by the way, I guess we should bring up because it's a pretty different way to play. But we already saw Rogue deal with this. Like, I think... I don't know. For Cure... His mech didn't look too bad, but there were obvious mistakes with it, right?
Right. Wait, Keen?
No, not from this week. I'm talking about was it BTSL or he played mech in a different cup recently, like this past week.
No, I believe you entirely because Kier does play mech. I'm just actually having trouble remembering what happened when he did.
Well, Keen, actually, I'm glad you brought him up because he was making weird things too. Like the Thors weren't in transformation mode, right? The timing of the double drop was really weird.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see if Cure makes any of those mistakes or not. But
I would think that Cure had a better showing than Keen. I just don't remember.
Well, this ends up being really good. A lot of splash damage in a surround. Kills a lot of these Queens. And so much of these Queens here, not really important, other than the fact that they should have been in the main sniping the medevacs off that are going to be shuttling in these two Thors. There's nothing here to really stop this. The mutas aren't going to cut it either.
13 mutas with Ling support might be too complicated, but the Lings are also dealing with the Hellbats, so they're going to be a little bit late. And, I mean, these could legitimately target fire buildings if they thought they had the time, but they're not.
Yeah, the temptation to go for that Spire, I think, was certainly there. But he picks off a couple of these mutas like upon spawning. It's worth noting that the mutas start going down really badly when +2 weapons is done. Like, you'll notice that it just barely didn't kill the mutas, and +2 is on the way. So these Thors might have some more longevity to them one way or another. But more Thors coming out behind this as well. Mass Thors, it looks like such a good idea, and then things like Swarm Hosts and like just like a lot of units beats it out, but I don't think Rogue's going to be attacking anytime soon to get that.
Oh, no, Rogue chose a certain style to play against mech.
Oh no, he doesn't load the Thors barely in time. Helling's going to try and save. Oh, nice micro with the medevac. He's dancing around really well with this. Loses only one of the Thor. Probably should have lost everything, but oh, the medevac gets sniped and he loses it anyways.
I mean, it was matched by Rogue's, magic boxing and having Ling support, so that was still a decent trade. And they run into 2 Thors. This is like 3 mutas right off the bat. All right, then.
This is like the 3 Stooges fight between the 2 players, really.
It really is. I mean, I think there is something that said, you were talking about like Thors don't do so well at the later stages. This numbers to kind of take care of them. So he probably wasn't expecting 4 and 6 Thors. Probably more expecting the transfer over into tanks like we're seeing right now. But Rogue, he knew it was coming. He saw the factories. He decided to play this style, this opener against mech, and it sort of worked. It dealt with the Thor drops at least, and now he's transferring over into Baneling Hydra, apparently. That game against Keen, he was already building +1. This game, he had pushed off his upgrades, so he is just dedicating it to the 1/1 with missile upgrades. I guess I should be specific about that. And even getting a Carapace upgrade. It's interesting.
This may have been the worst Banelings of all time.
A little bit. Wouldn't mind. Soaked up by the Lings. There is a decent amount of missile support, though, so I don't think the mutas can help.
Planetary's not done yet.
5th, though.
That'll finish up in a second. Good. Well, still more a couple of Thor shots. Ooh.
Okay, so he stays the 5th. Only loses 4 SCVs. Not too shabby there.
Oh, but Baneling's hit over here. You know what? Again, we're using replays. Let's go back in the magic of the replay. Oh my god.
Oh, those are like perfect. Oh, man, even took the missile turret.
The 1 SCV left him alive to tell people what happened here. Like, this is like a horror story.
That was a beautiful hit, and I was thinking it's actually kind of necessary. I was a little concerned. Cured on 70 SCVs, 4 or 5 bases, and Rogue still not quite with an army that could take care of it. I was getting a little concerned, but now Rogue has 16 Swarm Hosts on the way. He just cut that count down to 55. 4 SCVs at a time doesn't stay that way for very long, but still helps the push look a little bit weaker. It's coming here for Cure. I mean, Cure is not anywhere near maxed out, and usually wouldn't push until I would say 180. I guess after 150 is still okay, but it's a little bit dangerous. But he's getting across that plateau in the middle of the map. We have more units attacking at third base.
There's a problem here for Cure, actually. I'm just realizing his blue flame's coming down so late. Pushing against these swarm hosts is actually so dangerous. Like, we watched this earlier with Keen, and you guys got to see blue flame destroys locusts, not blue flame, though. That's a dumb way to phrase that, I realize. But if you've just got regular Hellion attacks, they actually don't do that much. These locusts will not be dealt with easily, so he's forced. It's not even a choice here. He's forced to run away from them.
I do wonder how much he really thought he was going to be able to commit to that, though. I mean, he wasn't anywhere close to maxed out. He had a 5th base on the way, and he was still waiting a lot of upgrades. So I'm not sure he minded having to retreat, but he did mean to, I think, have a stronger foothold where he was, and Swarmos just took care of that.
I always love looking at the Hellbat damage, by the way. Like, the upgrade difference of 2 damage. This is like a remnant from the past, because they never quite fixed the damage value, so they removed the bonus.
Leftover, I don't know what you want to call it. Leftover mistakes, I suppose, just like the
leftover
simulator.
Code or something. He could have saved his planetary, I feel. I don't know. Pulls the SCVs away, though.
Yeah,
too scared of the banelings.
Difficult choice. Well,
oh, God.
Okay.
He just lost a lot of Hellbats. These were supposed to clean up the locusts.
I was going to say, though, like, it wasn't as bad as what Keen had, though. Like, Keen just, like, banelings rolled into not only his Hellbats, but also like, his tanks and ended up trading. At least there, Cure had some Hellbats left over so that Locust didn't take out every single tank. But this attack's still ongoing. There's not quite enough to take care of it. 18 SCVs died. That base died. Cure is trying to push across the map, but he's down 20 army supply. Swarm hosts need to wait for their Locust, however. There's a large chunk of supply that's not working.
He's trying to mine off his base, but those Hydras can just sit up here all day and deny it.
I think, though, when the Locusts come in, that's just a dead army.
Maybe. We see how it gets used. Thors can shoot a lot of them out of the sky, but they're not clumping up enough. Yeah, this is a dead army.
At least like 10 Swarmos, maybe.
This army's dead within this game.
He's like... Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Rogue can give up that hatchery, so even though that might have died here, it's with a higher degree reinforcing one by one.
You remove the Thors. Those were the biggest blockers for this attack. The best tanks for damage.
Yeah, the supply kind of tells the tale here. Rogue just needs to get to an army. He can't get to a very sturdy army because he's going Ling Bane like Hydra, but he can get to a very large army. And once he gets that, then he should be able to just surround this army here. And Cure, I feel, is very desperate. You don't usually see a rally of like tanks 1 or 2 at a time as a mech player. Usually when you're this small of an army, you just give up and go home. But he's trying to stick around, realizing he's in a bad way, doesn't do more damage.
Chat says this game is more over than an Overlord, and this is more Finnish than... Shit. Cyril? Welmu? I don't know. One of those guys. I'm going to get in trouble for the Europeans to get the wrong player names out there. But yeah, this is really bad for Cure. I mean, all things considered, his army supply is holding, but that's not what sits there convincing me that Rogue's winning. It's the fact that he's had so much trouble getting a 4th base mining again. The Hydras denied this for so long. The income was like spiking all over the place, but mostly in the favor of Rogue. And Rogue, of course, like, this is a guy who's not afraid to go 50 banelings at a time. He's not afraid to just throw bodies at the mech player.
No, though tons of bodies. Baneling bodies. At mech. But Viper's coming in to just help clean up, I guess, when it is those remnants of tanks with only Hydras available. These Lings have at least one upgrade, but they do not have a Dream Glance, so honestly not very impressive.
Still getting freebies, though, and forcing units to stay at home, and Cure needs every single army unit on the front line right now. Banley's coming in to remove the Hellbats. Without those Hellbats, nothing to protect against the Locusts.
Banelings those on the map are very lackluster, only got 4 SCVs, but the attack at the front, only tanks left over. Banelings might be used on them to save that base. I mean, Rogue could give up that 6th, but...
Queen did a flip!
I don't know if he wants to give up his 5th, too. Well, he's gonna have to.
You know,
I mean, using tanks on them is not gonna be a very good idea.
For those who don't know, actually, physics in the game are not consistent. If we were to like have rewinded there, the Queen may not have done a flip the 2nd time. So it's kind of cool.
The difference between, like, me and you, for instance.
Yeah,
it used to not exist at all, really.
Well, I tested this with Ghosts back in the day, because I loved watching the corpses go flying. But if you just like constantly rewinded the replay, it'll be different each time they get killed.
I wanted to abduct, but there's nothing to kill them.
I like the parasitic bomb, actually. This might kill one of the medevacs, because the other one was kind of low. Okay, there you splits.
Alright. Ling's doing a surprisingly good job, again, despite their bad upgrades. Got Burrow on their side, too, so they're doing a little bit of harassment here and there. Cure is managing to stay alive, but he's never really had that great of an army. Well, not army, just like overall supply, I meant to say. But he's working his way back up towards it, and the fact that Rogue had to give up 2 of his mining bases, the ones with minerals on it, only left to 1.5, did certainly hurt his momentum. It's no longer the over as it looked when that attack in the middle of the map happened.
I don't know, man. I'm still convinced it's not looking good. He's actually microing the Locust, which is not something you see a lot of players do. And this gets him like 3 or 4 more tank kills than it would have. Unsieging, though, to Cure was really smart, because otherwise he would have killed his own tanks more than anything else. Those Lings, by the way, only 3 of them. They still unburrow and kill 3 more SCVs. Maybe more.
I mean, once these guys actually have a tune of lands, I can wonder that they're going to be very effective, but he's not investing into them.
Yeah, plus 2 melee as well. Finishes up here in a second. This mech army, though, is so well upgraded. I don't know, man. This is tough. I feel like I still favor Rogue in very many different ways. But at the same time, if he makes that mistake that a lot of players do, and they throw too much into the mech army trying to break it, they end up with not enough to defend a counterattack. Like, there's a good chance Cure can still win this. But all the Locusts are used at once. Doesn't stagger them, not even slightly.
Well, the Banelings run into a lot of tanks. The Locusts are forever to land, though. The Viking can go with them now.
I get some Korean hype adding into that engagement, too.
Yeah, we did.
666 coming in from Usiba Legend. $6.66. Wow, dude. That's evil. But a smiley face, so it's okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, having this plateau, it's not something that Rogue is going to be going up against, but rather just letting Cure come to him, which he can do. These tanks aren't hitting anything important. But he's going to roll into this. I don't know if that's a really good idea. Even with the Blinding Clouds, this is a very good position. The Blinding Clouds do blanket almost every single tank, though.
Vipers go down in the process. Kind of an expensive loss there for Rogue.
It really is. You know, Rogue is no longer in the safety net of a strong economy, a huge bank, or better units. Like, Cure has gotten his bases back up and is really pushing hard.
Shakur's almost lost 100 SCVs this game. I didn't even realize till just now.
Yeah. Rogue, you know, I'm surprised he hasn't taken any other bases too. Like, he's never really banked a lot for the last, I want to say 5 minutes at least. So, you know, he can't just throw bases all around. But considering that these are always the ones that are, you know, barely dying, I thought he would have taken the bottom or top. Gets a pretty nice concave, though. This is a lot nicer. Waiting for Cure to come to him, and that is going to be
broken. Destroyed.
I mean, once Cure pushed away from a choke, that was exactly what Rogue wanted.
Yeah, played right into his hands. But that's not it, guys. That's just game number 3, now 2-1. It's a best of 5, so we'll hop into game 4 in just a moment. Quick break, because I got to run to the bathroom, so we'll see you guys here in 2 minutes. Oh, I shifted positions. I got to move Rogue on the overlay. Whoop. There we go. It's game number 4 for the Olimoleague Grand Finals. Spawning in the top left, he leads 2-1. It's going to be Jin Air, Green Wings, Blue, Zerg player, Rogue.
He's never going to be red again. You missed a chance. And the bottom right as the yellow Terran, it's Cure.
Also, got to give some big love to Les Lovax, 420 for the 18-month resub. Zerg for the win. Nathris as well, resub for 25. Thank you very much for that, man.
Cool beans.
So we got multiple racks coming down at the front. Now, last time he did only go for 2 decisively. It didn't go for the 3 for the Reapers. Again, I'm very confident that the time in which this played earlier this morning, the patch was not live because they were patching as the broadcast for the replays started today.
Also, they didn't patch the Reapers, so...
Oh, at all. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, this really has nothing to do with, like, an increased mineral cost. It just seems to be a stylistic choice out of Cure. It was cool to see the Reapers and the Hellbats, but ultimately not that effective.
No, they weren't. You know, Rogue took care of that really well. He took care of the Reapers well, too, even if it was 3 racks. I think that there's some Zergs that just end up dealing with it. pretty a-okay, but it's not. It is just the 2 racks opening up. I don't know. Gear's the only guy I've seen. I think Beyond didn't go for 2 racks Reaper, but he did go for the Sim City that looked like a 3 racks and only went into a 1 rack expand. So that was kind of an interesting twist, but still not a 2 rack. So Gear's kind of the only guy I've seen do it, and I can't quite explain why. It would be good to do so. I mean, the fake out potential is there, but the Overlord, you know, still sees the barracks right after like the 2nd Reaper or something like that. I guess the 3rd Reaper, but it's, you know, it's still, it happens eventually, and I don't know. Maybe it's a new norm. I'm just not caught up in the Korean GM ladder.
Well, quick shout out to ourselves. If you guys have enjoyed the show so far, and I really hope you have, make sure you hit that follow button here on Twitch. We're really trying to grind out that follower count past 80K just earlier this week, which is cool. Trying to send ourselves over to that 100K mark whenever we can. So all follows are really appreciated to help achieve the goal. But also lets you know when broadcasts are live so you don't miss anything. Again, just while the game shapes up here, we got BTSL finals tomorrow, then we're off to DreamHack Atlanta.
Exactly. So the Ling's Jardins, he 2 barracks. The 3rd barracks could very well just be on the high ground, but I think he's probably been counting how many Reapers there are, and this would just feel like not a lot for a player that has to deal with this probably on a, you know, daily occurrence. There's a fast evolution chamber, but I imagine it's only for the +1 Carapace. Reaper or Ling dropping its Reapers there's not much merit to it. There we go.
The Carapace upgrade has actually proven to be a really good defense against this, and it's really funny how long it took people to figure this out too. To lose so many games to Reapers, you just start trying crazy things, and one of the crazy things is faster armor upgrades. Boom, cuts down on the auto attack damage by 2. It's really nice. Which is, it's so funny to me because we actually saw the game start to go in the direction of Reapers getting range upgrades. You know, suddenly they get double benefits because they shoot twice. Armor's kind of like a negative effect of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one part helping deal with the snowball, because it obviously doesn't help for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or even 4th Reaper attacks, but it does help for the 5th or 6th. But I think it's also just another part being able to squeeze it in, you know? Like, they're sacrificing tech, usually, and upgrades as well, of course, for Reapers. And if you can squeeze in a +1 Carapace, probably the most, if you're going to choose one of the upgrades, and that's the more important one, then you should try and fit it in. Like I said, not going to help against the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Reaper attack. Might not even help against this Hellion attack. He did not get the fast +1 Carapace the last time this happened, so I don't know the timing of it. The armory's like 20 seconds ago. Close.
I was so not convinced by the way this worked before, but Rogue, he doesn't have nearly as many queens. Not everyone's in position. I don't know. Maybe there's merit to this one. I don't know, man. Like I'm not a fan of the Hellbat attacks in general. I'm always surprised when they work out.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the +1 Carapace looks like it will be done. Just having to wait for the medevac and, you know, wait till they transform and all that. The +1 Carapace will, I mean, it's hard to say that it'll be too helpful with the Hellbat splash damage working like it does. It's more about the queens kiting than it is about the Lings surviving, because you're gonna get melted by the Hellbats. But
well, we get
there were Marines. I guess the queens do benefit from upgrades. It's always kind of hard to remember that.
This is a weird spot with the Liberator, but it's kind of genius too.
Didn't even need the transfuse, it just left. Drones, that was an almost really cool idea if Rogue had pumped his drones up a little bit more in the pool.
I think Kier's got a pretty good attack here.
Lings come in now. They do have that +1 Carapace to at least help out against maybe the Reapers. Queens do as well, but not really getting the best surrounds. Queens seem to be chipping away, however. Yeah,
they still clean this up. 7 drones dead. He got a pretty good army kill out of that. Like, for Kier, this was so much more expensive than it was for Rogue, though.
Right. Yeah. Still don't think it's quite worth it. It doesn't really interrupt Rogue that much either. Like, this guy has been pretty good about correctly identifying when he can drone and when he has to make army, when he can just depend on queens, all that jazz. So he's been getting a very good macro game beyond this pressure. He's going for a fairly, well, I guess in the grand context, I think it's not really that fast, but he is going for a lair right now, just adding on that +1 melee. I said fast because I didn't think he had a Baneling nest, but he does already have one. Just hasn't made many Banelings. Or any at all. That's a little concerning. This push is coming in here, but the Banelings are making, they're morphing, and Cure's gonna assume that the defense is ready to go, whatever it is.
It's a hell of a lot of queens, that's for sure.
Banelings could use themselves in the Hellbats and still be kind of worth it. Yeah, he had backup Banelings, he had so many queens. Instantly planting down that creep as soon as the medevac was pushed off. Not very far, mind you, but it was.
The beauty of the queens isn't even really like, hey, it's transfuses or it's tanking. It's just they drive off the medevacs. There's so few. He's gone to Liberator production without more, so 4 medevacs in total is not a whole hell of a lot to work with.
We have Rogue going for a very quick hive this game too. I mentioned that in a series another day that he was going for almost like every single game, going for faster hive. But only bringing it in here in game number 4 is a bit of a mix-up. We've seen Spire, we've seen Hydras, we've seen Lurkers, we've seen Swarm Hosts. Rogue actually throwing out everything. Cure going mech and bio is not, standard either, but now he's going to have to scout that it's a fast hive. Will he be able to do very much against it? Maybe not, but at least he'd have the knowledge.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate too. His third base isn't even down for Cure, that is. The depots are also down. Oh no.
Yeah, he saw the army.
There's no wall at the top of the ramp either.
Oh, there's no wall at all. All right then. He saw the army where it was, so he knew it would work.
Even if these Lings die in the process, but they take out, like, say, all the reactors with them, this would be a really sweet attack. But
I mean,
Rogue just kind of lets it go because he's focusing on this drop here in the top right.
He deals with it.
I mean,
what the hell? What the hell? Okay, those Lings were like, they're doing something. They're doing something before they burrowed. Just saying.
Okay, well, I didn't see it. There are a lot of burrowed though. Like he could actually afford to like unburrow like maybe 2 over here and just make those into Banelings and roll those in.
Yeah. He's still got a lot of SCVs. Still got a reactor. He got more SCVs right now. He forced stims on the the low medevac counts. Liberators had to come back and reseed. Like, this is a lot of chaos, and he thinks these are the last burrowed Lings. They're not.
Actually, it's funny because stim really is usually not something you think too much about. These Banelings aren't gonna be worth it. He's hoping to find a lot more SCVs here. I guess killing a couple of fresh mules is not too bad. Oh, I like this. He segments them off. Gonna have to force a scan if he wants to really clean this up, and he can't afford to do that because what right now Cure needs is mules.
Yeah, he won't catch both of them. Well, that's pretty sick. Usually there are scans available at this point in time, but just losing so many SCVs down to 44.
Those don't even look burrowed. Those look like he just like laid down on the ground and were like, "Don't notice us."
Seems to be what burrow really is. I mean, I think ultras are really as derpy as the Carbot depicts them, where they're just like, "Don't notice me." It's a big old spike.
I'll accept your duel next, Secure. Prepare to die. Yeah, that's right.
Good one.
Dead man walking. Sit down, next Secure. We'll see you next time.
They're already on the way, and Cure has no response to them.
Yeah, there's no Marauders.
He still has 2 Liberators, but yeah, there's no Marauders.
Yikes. This, by the way, is still him not even having scouted this. The drop doesn't even get over there to see. He still won't know about these ultras, so they're already out. Drop completely denied out of the main. He's only seen the hatchery and the spore crawler, has not seen the lair, has certainly not seen that hive. Kindness plating is done, and this is going to be just absolute hell for Cure to deal with.
Oh, that it is. Finding a couple units in the rally, but really, Rogue is prepared for this defense. Ultras are out, they got the upgrades. There's no way Cure takes a decent fight.
Oh, the Infestor's got fungals here in a few seconds, too.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's waiting for. I mean, Cure's pre-split, he knows what's up, but that doesn't help against the Ultras.
Live by the dagger, die by the dagger. I think it's sword. Shit, okay. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Oh, those Marines jump into the bunker, but there's Banelings to help out here.
Yeah, the ones that hit from earlier. Rolls around the side.
What? Okay, well, we didn't see them out anyways. And the ultras come through the middle of the map.
Oh, God.
The queens, the everything.
The queens take out the liberators. No real anti-air necessary. GG. Rogue, gonna be your champion for this week's Olimoleague. Very nicely done. And a congratulations to him.
Deal.
First place with a 3-1 over his teammate. I'm a little bit sad because I thought Kier played pretty cool today, but yeah. That last game out of Rogue. The Lurker game and the last game out of Rogue were very, very convincing.
They were really cool. I'm sad though. I knew that was I figured Rogue was gonna win and then I didn't bet on him. Rookie move.
Rookie move. Alright, well how do I go pay that out now? What did I do last time? Results. I think Cure will win, so the result is no. Bet result, no. Congratulations everybody who won. I still don't know how the betting system really works. But that's going to conclude the coverage of the Olimoleague. So I'm going to ask, and you're probably going to say no, but are you up for the co-op mutation to finish off what we didn't get to finish before the cast?
I'll do 1 or 2 games.
I think we'll get it in one. I actually really, truly believe we'll get it in one.
It still isn't that comforting because, I mean, it's still going to take like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's grueling, man. Doesn't go by fast.
This week's mutation might be one of the most difficult ones we've seen to date, guys. So if you missed it in the earlier cast, it's pretty tough. So we're gonna I guess transition out here. We're gonna do the co-op mutation on Brutal when we get back. So we'll play a commercial break. Hit the follow button again if you haven't. We're doing more StarCraft, guys. We're not swapping to another game. We're just swapping to co-op. We'll see you here in 2 minutes.